All right, friends. So, with so much in the air, I wanted to reflect on the moment that we are in and also share that I was looking at this week's Torah portion. And what's interesting is both in the written version of our first year of learning, which is available if anyone wants to celebrate it, UJA published a book version of our first year of learning, and I've considered what to do with a year and a half since. It's for a different conversation. There was no comment on Haazinu because Parshat Haazinu, the second to last Torah portion, which we're going to read tomorrow morning in Shul, is a fascinating thing. Very few people pay attention to it, not only because it's a small parsha and it's not the last and it's not sort of the intensity of the others, but it also always comes right now where you're getting ready for Sukkot. And so you want to talk about Yom Kippur and then the day after Yom Kippur, and then you want to talk about Sukkot during the hours that we have before Sukkot, which begins Sunday night. So for those who don't know, we won't be broadcasting Monday or Tuesday morning because it'll be Sukkot. Anyway, so number one, Haazinu. If you look into a Torah scroll, Haazinu is written, instead of one column like this, it's written poetic, like two columns side by side, and then two columns side by side. Even visually, there's something different. And if you read the content, something changes in there too. Not only does Moses' moral castigation of the people and history telling and warning of the people, not only does that change, Moshe's heart feels like it's melting. It's warm. It's so powerful. He speaks poetically to the people, and he says, "Heavens, be my witness. May Torah be gentle like water to you. May it comfort you. May it surround you." And it's actually very, very powerful. Haazinu means listen, hear. It's actually the name of an a cappella group that I started many years ago in Jerusalem. And it's Moses' poetry, and that's a helpful transition, actually, between the intensity of Yom Kippur, the high spirits with which so many of us left that glorious, glorious day, just 2 days ago, with people together again, singing, children in sanctuaries. And yes, the complexity of our world didn't suddenly go away, but just for a moment, friends, just for a moment, the heavens were open and our prayers were heard. And I say that knowing that not everyone's prayers were heard, and not everyone is in this moment feeling the joy of Yom Kippur. There are real life moments that life hands us, and that requires a shift very quickly, actually, from Yom Kippur to Sukkot, because of all things for us to recognize. And I asked Neshama for some guidance. What kind of Torah should I teach today? Given everything that's going on for everybody, it's not simple. And the mood switch from Yom Kippur to Sukkot, it takes some thought. Sukkot is, as many of us know, a holiday where we remember and reenact the building of huts, the building of Sukkot, outside of our physical homes. We are told to make our permanent home a temporary one, and to reside in a sukkah for the 7 or 8 days, depending on how you observe in Israel, outside of Israel. And so my family and I are going to build a sukkah soon. But what does it mean? Neshama had a brilliant observation, so I'm sharing it in her name, that Sukkot is the one time, it's not the only time, but it really does stand out as the one time on the Jewish calendar that we are told, go somewhere less comfortable. Move. Get up and move. And go build something and dwell in something. And we ask all year, every day during Mariv, during the evening prayers, we say to God, Ufros aleinu sukkat shlemecha. God, spread over us a sukkah of peace. We are our vulnerable selves in the world, and boy, have we learned that these last years. And the vulnerability of a sukkah feels like where we've been. But what an interesting moment it might be. I say this gingerly. Not everyone is in the same emotional, spiritual, psychological, mental place We are having real experiences as real people, and there are ups and downs in every day. And I'm sending such comfort and love to those of you, those of us, who are holding hard things right now. Such comfort. The Sukkot doesn't actually provide stable walls, especially the way I build them. It is an experience of ritual vulnerability. And as we return, as the world returns, please God, as we return, it's going to be important for us to have reminders every day to not take things for granted, to remember what we've been through, to take care of each other more fully, because the inequities in society have only deepened. The needs that UJA responds to in the world have only become bigger. It's not, quote, just war. And a pandemic reveals things about society, where we are resilient and where we have not taken adequate care of each other. We are called to love our neighbors. How better than to be in a sukkah out of our protected permanent walls? How better a situation could there be where we remember our neighbors, for whom a sukkah would feel like a luxury? It is a luxury, after all, to have a home and then build a smaller temporary one for a few days. That is a luxury, though of course it's also a mitzvah. So, if I could wish us one thing, with the urgency of Yom Kippur, the poetry of Moshe's warm heart this Shabbat, and then Sukkot, which is about to begin, it is to embrace all three. Mortality is the language of Yom Kippur. I don't have forever, so let us live every moment and make it count. Moshe reminds us that there is poetry and grace in life, even as we age, even at the very end. And Sukkot reminds me that my neighbors are closer than I typically remember. And so on this day, friends, truly, with everything that you are holding, and with all the joy, and with all the moral clarity we can achieve, and with the urgency that we should not truly let go of, that Yom Kippur gave us, may we celebrate this return to life, and let us be gentle with each other and with ourselves when life continues to be life. It's not simple. It's more like a sukkah than we'd like to remember. But in the sukkah, we are also called to let the rain touch us, to see the stars, to welcome in the strangers, to welcome in friends, to have just what we need and not more. Those are humbling, beautiful lessons that a combination of Yom Kippur, let's not leave behind Rosh Hashanah, a reborn world, a sense of mortality and therefore the fullness of life. Shabbat Parshat Haazinu that we read tomorrow, where Moshe's grace pervades every word. And then Sukkot, which is joy, vulnerability, heaven, earth, all of it. So I bless you, friends, to be touched in the way that you need, to be held in the way that you need, to know that this community, you and me, we truly, truly explore fully these moments. And if there's a way that we can support each other, remember that the comments that we offer are ways of letting each other know what's going on in life. I can't wait until we can come together again Wednesday morning. But until then, life, let it in. Share it. Acknowledge it. Know that you're not alone. No one. No one is alone, friends. So, Arlene, you're going to be in Israel for Sukkot. Take us all with you. It's where restaurants build Sukkot. Where else? All right, let's get ready for Shabbos, friends. Shabbat Shalom, friends, and an early Chag Sameach. See you on Wednesday. Take care.